Hey!
This is On the Bench with the two Johnnies with Board Gosh Energy. The summer's heating up now. Make the most of it with some new solar panels from today's sponsor, Board Gosh Energy. Save up to €1,000 and get a free BER cert. Board Gosh Energy. Know your power.
Hello.
You're welcome to On the Bench, a 6-part podcast series with some of the biggest legends in the GAA.
I'm Johnny B.
And I'm Johnny Smacks.
Lads, each week we are joined by stars of hurling and football who will answer the same 7 questions, covered in everything from pre-season preparation, career highlights, and some stories from the dressing room, Anthony.
On the Bench this week is one of Clare's greatest ever hurlers. His honours include 2 All-Ireland titles, 4 Munster Championships, 4 All-Stars, and the distinction of captaining Clare to their first All-Ireland success in 81 years. He later managed Dublin to a historic Leinster title and National League crown, becoming one of the most influential figures the game has seen on and off the field. Welcome to the podcast.
That'll do.
Andy Daly.
Hey, you know that's written by our producer, Claire, man.
This is the 6th episode and the longest intro we've had as well. I tell you, if anything, we're unbalanced in here.
John Carroll got 2 words. No, it's a paragraph, but great.
So, some ledge, Carlo. Some ledge.
How you keep, man? All good?
Good, lads. Yeah, good. Yeah.
Thanks for coming out to Tipperary.
Not at all, yeah. I could be getting weary when I cross the border there.
Yes,
but all okay, yeah. Keep the head down going through Tiptown.
As always. Okay. So do we.
Hey, we'll tear straight into it because pre-season, because almost everyone else we've had on this has talked about the change in approach to pre-season, and they all name check that Mad Clare team of the 90s and Ger Loughnane and the stories that came out about she pre-internet about running up hills and all. That changed the game for everyone else.
Yeah.
So let's go back to pre-season.
Yeah, geez, after we won in 95, there's a great story about one of the clubs nearer to Shannon, let's say. And an under 12 team running up the hill in Shannon.
The same hill he ran up.
Yeah, Jesus, you wouldn't do it to a herd of donkeys.
But that magical hill was the hill.
Yeah, I suppose Loughnane had been involved with us. You know, he was involved with Lane Linganer in 94, and he just figured we were too soft, and we were. So he just went on this winter of madness, and luckily enough, we'd won the county title, so we were in the Munster club for a few weeks. I think 4 or 5 weeks we'd stay with the club, and I remember meeting Shawnee McMahon, our centre back, up in Ennis one of the days, and he said, "Jesus, stay in the Munster club as long as you can." It's just this fucking animal, he said. And stories were coming back about these 35 lap runs and this hill in Shannon then, which is barely lit up by street lights, and I was just up at 25 times, sets of 5. The only one that just get away with it was the teacher's pet, the sparrow. He'd go into the bushes for about 4 of the runs, and he'd get up to the top of the hill, and Mike Mack would be saying, "That's a great run, Ger Loughnane." He didn't run the previous 4. He wasn't built for it, as he often said, but yeah, he was pretty animal now.
Did lads, immediately, Ger Loughnane obviously had the aura to carry off asking lads to do new stuff, extreme stuff, or did lads doubt him?
Some doubted, I suppose. Some just weren't able for a few. But more of all, it was you can fuck off if you want.
Yeah.
No one was too precious to him, so. And
did you lose a few lads?
I'd say we lost 1 or 2, maybe lads weren't able for it now more so. But it was pretty animal now, 6 o'clock in the morning stuff at Saturdays and that kind of thing.
Well, wait, so what would you be doing? Training 6 o'clock Saturday morning on the hill?
No, more. That was, I have to say now, the early morning stuff was hurling in Cusack Park,
Right.
But it was early,
And what was the rationale to going at 6 in the morning?
Just nuts again, just to make us think when we met Cork, got back into a Munster final again, that we had done extraordinary stuff, we couldn't shit ourselves again. Yeah. I mean, we had shit ourselves in 2 Munster finals in a row, 93, Ye beat us 18 and Limerick beat us 11 in 94, even that year, Kilkenny beat us 9 in the league final, so we were big day chokers really. So I think all that fed in maybe to that Munster final.
Was it all up there, as they say? Because lads talk about fitness and you have the work done the whole, but that ignorance of we went through this now.
It was definitely we were lucky enough to beat Cork now in the semi-final, but the day of the Munster final, I never heard as many fellas referring to what we had done.
Yeah,
for the previous fucking 10 months, 9 months. So why, Jesus, did we do all this to shit the course again? I mean, look, that was huge that day, and I think we really played well that day, and we were new men then.
Yeah,
because they won't keep us off the back. We were going up to the Ireland semi-final, sure. no Clare teams are going to Ireland semi-finals.
Yeah, that'd be a steal.
Yeah, so we know no fear of Galway and subsequently Offaly. We didn't really fear Offaly either because we'd no history with them.
Yeah.
It was Yee and Limerick and Cork with history with getting hammered.
So you started playing with Clare 89, was it?
89, yeah, came on to the panel 89. I was sub in 89 and I wound up a sub in 201.
That's
yeah, so I subbed the first year, subbed the last year, played all the ones in between. All right.
Were the differences in pre-season then in 01, like were lads starting to get into like nutrition, weights, and then obviously you're over Dublin then like that must the total other end of the spectrum.
I was coming in around then, like, you know, that weights and gym and all that. It was Yeah, look, man, like, didn't really believe in it. Like, he just believed in the Mike Mack approach, which was killers. Like, Mike he had a pub and scarf, like, and he was tough. He had a rugby background more than a hurling background, like, and it was just flat, the living life out of him, and press ups, sit ups, all that. But you wouldn't be lifting weights in a gym, like. But that was coming in when I was kind of going.
Yeah.
I kind of got sick of that too. I have to say. Well, it was near the end, you know, that kind of way. So, yeah.
But then, did you pick up a lot of injuries if you were doing the animal training?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
No.
This is the amazing thing for me is like you could have lads now in the club going like
It's desperate, no?
with the whoop going like I haven't recovered well. Do you know what I mean? And I'm going like Jesus, like do you know back in the 90s lads running around like up and down hills.
It seems like you never got injured.
Last year when he finally beat us, I'll drive for you tip in 2000. We did 27 nights in a row one day, like 27 days or nights in a row, and 2 of those were double sessions. So there was like 29 sessions in the 27 days. They were morning, Saturday and Saturday evening. And that was just his way. Like, now we all probably overdid it, like, for because the legs were beginning to give. That was probably May, I'd say.
Jesus, and so championship would have been starting then.
We weren't. I think we were straight to the semi-final, so we weren't probably playing the 13th to 14th of June. You know, the good old days.
Yeah.
When you played championship in lovely hot weather in places like Páirc Uí Chaoimh and
so it's 27 days in a row. What are we doing? Some hurling sessions, some running sessions? Because there wasn't.
It was nearly all hurling, like it's nearly all hurling at that stage. But he'd hand you over to Mike for a punishment beating if he wasn't happy with the hurling, you know. So Mike could come in with 20 sprints.
Yeah.
No, sprints were probably halfway line to the end line.
Yeah.
He'd hand you over to Pontius Pilate.
Isn't it amazing that 30-something lads would just go 100%? That's no problem. 20, no complaints. Like.
No.
Did you know at the start of the 27 days?
We went to All Ireland's in 3 Munsters, right? If he said go up to the Cliffs of Moher and abseil off it, we had a chance then. And we would have, of course. He was God, like.
What are your memories of the dressing room in and around that time? Like, you must have had a fair strong dressing room.
We had, like, and I suppose, fellas like Davy, sure, you can imagine, and Lohan, like, I mean, the 2 men have led us to All Ireland since, and
would Davy have been much of a talker?
He would, yeah. Look, Nam wouldn't say much today, the game, funny enough, like, that was the mad thing, like, the Friday night, like, he'd walk us up into the goal mouth on the inner side of Cusack Park and all into the net, like. First time he did it, I know, geez, what was going to happen here? How are we going to get to the net? He'd stand at the edge of the square and address us all from there. That'd be an animal speech. Like, you'd hardly sleep Friday night. You'd probably sleep Saturday night.
Yeah.
Because there was no Loughlin. But Friday night, you'd be going home wired. Like.
Wired, ready to go.
Yeah, but he kind of timed that then. And then the Sunday, he was always calm and delivered his message and that, you know? Yeah. It's amazing, like, people must have thought he was nuts at half time and that.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't. He was very calm the day of the game. Sure, he was a genius, really. Like, he knew what he was at. Like, my great pal Johnny Callan, who would have won 2 All-Stars with Loughlin's team in the 70s. He was in school with him, did his leaving with him. Like, he said he could have been anything. Like, he was just big teaching for the hurling. He said he could have been a vaser, right? You know.
So what's the dressing room like then in 89, 90? It's a totally different bunch.
Oh, Jesus. Stop. My first year, 89, 88, I was kind of knocking around the end of 88, but then 89, I was on and we played the league. We were 1B in the league, I think, and we were poor now. Well, 1B was Division 2. Let's call it what it is anyway. Yeah. At least they had the common sense to call it that at the time. So, and we finished up then beaten by somebody, don't ask me, Dublin or someone in Parnell. And then the manager said, I won't even quote who was manager, people will know from Clare. He just said, I'll see you now, go back to your clubs, I'll see you in 4 weeks. She wasn't too bad going back to Tyrcastle because training was okay, but some lads going back to club training, like this dire stuff. Like, jeez, sure, we came back in. I think Waterford beat us 18 points. You know,
you were totally left to your own devices, kind of.
Yeah, well, sure, lads, off booze.
Yeah.
Back to club training and go for a few pints after club training. That, it didn't really change till Linganer came in. I'd say, Linganer was a great guy. Great.
Yeah.
Give you the credit for that one there.
Good tip man.
Good
Yeah.
killer one, man.
Yeah.
Gaynor brought just a different edge to the whole thing, that. What's this like? This is what you were doing.
Yeah.
So he took it off the floor. Like, maybe it took the mad clear man to finish it.
Yes.
To bring us the whole way. But Gaynor really made us think about winning a Munster Championship. Like,
talking like about team talks, and is there one that sticks out in your mind that you remember? Like, Jesus, like that one will always stick with me, even if it wasn't sure if it was one of the players or who was it?
My last year as a sub, I gave a right one myself against Tip, because they had beaten us in 2000, and I wasn't making it, and it was clear from about a month out I'd be a sub. Jerry Quinn, who's a very good wing back, kind of taking my spot, and Sir Earl had kind of said to me, Sir Ryan's manager, will you have a go at this before the match? I fucking will. They're here to shit, and I was like, and you eventually won the All-Ireland, but it was an epic game below in Cork. It was 1 point. It was a classic, like, but I give a rattler now. And I'm taking the credit to myself. But I've never done that while I was playing now, because I know I'd have run a few F's and lines, and often. Yeah, made a bit of a speech, but no, that day I was calculated and ready for it. And the boys even said they couldn't. It took them to warm up to calm down, which is not a good thing either, But the greatest speech I ever heard in a dressing room was half time in the 97 All-Ireland final. Loughnane was kind of, I'm saying, what was he? Sulking kind of with us.
Right.
We were that bad, and Tip were 5 up. Was it 4 or 5 up? 5. 4 maybe. We got a point for half time. Gilly got 2 points for half time. I think we had been 6 and he brought back to 4. And he wouldn't talk at all in the dressing room like he was talking. He was kind of letting me down, like, ball children. The Cusack we were in because the Hogan hadn't been developed like at that stage. So the man was knocking on the door to tell us to get back out, and I was doing a bit of ranting and raving, and Lohan and Davy and Shawnee McMahon were doing, and Mike Mack had said a few words, Tony Constantine, and Loughnane said nothing. And then your man was banging at the door. So I says, come on. I says, 35 minutes to win our second All-Ireland. We're going to beat them. So whatever, get up. Next thing your man says, hold it at the door. And he just stopped us all, and kind of, they were all behind me. So they all kind of out into a semicircle. And then he said, men need it now. And he opened the door and let us out.
That was it. Oh,
I think we were going ahead within 7 or 8 minutes. That's
unreal, isn't it?
He's just, this is it. Are we beating Tip in the Munster final? We're going to let him come back and beat you.
Needed now.
Men needed now. There's one for you now.
Care Junior is going to get that. They're going to get that.
Is there a game that stands out in your career?
A lot of bad ones.
Would you?
Oh Jesus!
Are they the ones that stick with you?
Yeah. The good days are so easily forgotten. It's the bad days. Even as manager, like, the bad days haunt you. Yeah, Jesus, the Munster final '93. Like, Jesus, you passing it around, and come. I asked him if they're long left. Would you ever blow it off? Would you? Yeah. He said the 7 minutes. Would you ever blow it off? Would you? You're down 18 points. Like, I can imagine the poor Offaly lads there at the weekend. Like, tough. But I suppose, look, for us, it wasn't about All Irelands. Like, you think. I'd say it straight away, say one of the 2 All-Irelands. No, it's the Munster final in 95, like, because that was the one we kept on losing. Like, we had lost 11 Munster finals before that one, senior finals, back over the decades.
Years.
Yeah, 1932. So, I mean, this is what we dreamt about. This is what we came home. And I think it was Tony Constantine was interviewed on TV straight after, and he says the funerals are over, like, and that's what it meant to us. Like, and it was some achievement by Loughnane and the mentors to get our heads back on Galway. Because the week after that, like, it was just carnage. Like, the cup was brought to every village. They had a hurling club.
That was already the Ireland.
It went on Friday morning, myself and Fergie too, we were hitching out a Scariff. We no car, like.
5 days later.
And this guy, Jerry Lynch, an old pal of mine, I was working in the bank at the time, he's coming in out to the bank. Jerry, stop the car. I couldn't believe it. Why he doing ditching? He says, after winning the Munster Championship. I said, a bit of a late one there last night. Now, we had 5 weeks to the Galway game. Like, but he made us train then in our pitch in Clarecastle, our old pitch, which is Clare Abbey, the county board pitch now. He made us train there on the Friday night, like, Mac. And he knowing, like, that he was after putting up himself a 2 the night before. And, like, massive crowd turned up, as you can imagine, like, club field. And there was 6 of us from the village on the panel, like. And he flogged us like fellas weren't in great shape for it now, you can imagine. But yeah, it was yeah, and then the Munster final was out of your head then, like, you know, so but to get our heads back on, because everyone was just win a Munster. That was the target. There was never a mention of an All-Ireland, like.
Some going to follow it up.
It was. Like, we trained again then. Les off for the weekend then. I said, no, coming in Tuesday night in the state. So we came into the park Tuesday night and we weren't great. Like, you know, the match was poor. Like, and fellas were still in kind of, I think we did go out the weekend. Like, you know, so he came in and he's get in, like he'd say. So everyone into the dressing room. So he'd usually start with me if it was going to be a rant, like. He knew I'd be able to take it on board. And
you were captain?
Well, yeah, and it starts with you, a joke some of you were carry on last week, I heard, like, he'd have come with us on the Monday, but that was it, we wouldn't have seen him then. A joke, a disgrace to her, like, you know. So he goes around and poor old Stephen Mack had come in injured. He was off work with a tummy bug. He'd come home he was working in the bank, and he'd come off, and Mac was at it was next to me, but he went that way around the room, like. So he came around to Mac, and he was walking around, the sweat is out through him now, and he's like a lunatic. And he came up to Mac, he says, Mac, and he hit him a punch into the stomach. And he said, Mac, sick is coming out of Crow Park beating. Boy, Jesus, we went back out in the training session. There was lumps flying out of everyone. Yeah, that was the end of it. That was the end of it. We trained like demons, like for 2.5 weeks then, and he'd calm it down then for a few days for it.
How do you build a team back up after a bad day?
After a bad day, yeah. Well, there was
asking for a friend.
Look, sure.
Or you were as a manager?
Yeah. I look at my first. I did 3 years as Clare manager, and we were beating 2 semi-finals and a quarter-final replay in the Ireland, but we didn't win a match in Munster. Yeah. It was torture, like. But you had a few weeks before the round robin that time for the back door started. So look, you'd let them off for 10 days or that, and then bring them back in and say, look, is that what we're about? And there's more to us, surely, like, you know. And we would have felt we were never as ready now for my first year manager, the Waterford game. We were so ready, and we just froze or something. I don't know, you can't. What's the psychologists like were involved at that stage? Even right through the Dublin thing, I would have had the best of sports psychologists, and then there was days I just can't explain. Yeah, I just went out and saw the Kilkenny jersey and flopped. And no, we beat them in a replay in 13, you know, which they'd never lost a replay. I think Charlie Haughey had been Taoiseach last time we lost a replay. So, you know, so funny enough, we got it right that week for the replay to say, what are we going to do here if TJ Reid gets 2 goals in the first 10 minutes, you know? So I suppose I think that's a good way of doing it, is get out the worst possible scenario. Yeah. And how are we going to react to that? That's one theory. I don't really know. To be honest, I don't really know.
It worked, Dale. It worked.
Did that journey, yeah.
Talk to us about rivalries. Who's the biggest rivalry you had?
Lots of them at club level.
Yeah.
No one really liked us. They all like us now because we're not great.
Nobody likes you when you're winning, yeah.
Yeah. I tell you the truth, we hadn't a rival. Yeah. You have to earn the right to have rivals. There's a bit of rivalry with Limerick because of the Shannon Airport dynamic and everyone working together in the airport, you know, in the various places, be it the airport, be it the different factories. There was a bit of rivalry there, but sure, they could still beat shite of us like back then. So there was no real rivalry, being honest. And then it built up with Limerick. 94, they beat us in the Munster final. Then we beat them in the Munster final 95, went on to win it. And of course, they'd failed to win it in 94. Then they had the famous match with Kieran Carey's Point. You're too young, but you probably saw the highlights of that score a million times, like Wall Point to beat us. It was the most epic day I ever heard, like, honest to God, and we beaten again. One you remember, like my poor mother, God be good to her, she never went to a match after that, like, because the crush coming out, she got so scared. It was so packed. After that 96 Limerick game in the Gaelic grounds, it was just wedged, and it was as hot as it is out there today, if not hotter. And they beat us with that Carey Point. We had been 3 points up nearly the whole second half. So that Limerick rivalry, and then he took over, lads. 97,
We only ever take over for a year. So
well, no, with us though. Like there was a famous league game in 95 where Loughnane was trying to, you know, psych us up, and they came like Foxy, Nicky, the whole lot, like Lahey and Declan and the whole lot, and he put it up to us to beat him in Ennis, and I think there was, you know, good kind of 10,000-12,000 there. I think we'd won our first 3 games, and people were back following us, and a good tip crowd around as well. So, and it was a bit of a belt match now, and there was a lot of verbals. I got Nas there in 94, you know, and Lahey First, he ran the whole width of the field from the far wing after a bit of a schmozzle broke out on my wing to say it was the softest all-star given out ever. And he got one as well in 94. He was a brilliant player, don't get me wrong. But he didn't even play in the championship. He got it on the back.
Won it on the league,
Just hardly as soft as your one anyway, so. The verbals used to be good crack, like. There was no real nasty verbals, you know, would it be.
But it's also an era where there was kind of stars. Like Pat Fox and Leahy, maybe we're bicycle tip, but like they were stars, like, do you know what I mean? And then
Nicky
English was,
I mean, they were the three the best players I ever saw.
Yeah. And they're still kind of cult heroes.
Yeah. And even with us then, like, you come along, like, right up the middle, we see, like, Davy, Brian Lohan and Johnny. I mean, the best 3 and 6 I ever saw were the two boys. I'm biased as well. Jamesy, what a forward Jamesy was.
James O'Connor, Sparrow, yourself, big names, you know.
We probably on the wings we were okay, but up the middle we were strong, like, you know. So,
but then
Ollie Baker, like,
less lads wearing helmets too. It's like you knew players more.
That was it. Yeah,
there was a bit more something to it, you know.
Absolutely, lads. I had the Waterford lads there up on a stag, Kieran Bennett's stag there lately, and I mean, talk about embarrassing. I mean, the Bennetts look like each other, so you'd know the Bennetts. I was trying to pick Shane from Kieran.
Yeah,
Stephen, I suppose, has got so many men in matches. We're sorry to see him.
A bit more,
but like, this good-looking tall lad come up to the bar and he says, "Daly, pint cider, a pint bottle of cider, and a Copperberg." And I says, "This Tig the Burka." I said, it is. And I says, "Thanks, Tig." Handed it out to me. He said, "Sound Daly." I said, "I have Tig." Like, there was other lads.
Yeah.
It's true, guys.
I mean, I was tipping Stephen Bennett and I said, "Which one of them is that there?" And he said, that's Calum Lyons.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I know him with the red helmet on him.
Yeah.
But, you know.
We were the same. We found ourselves in Boston a few years ago when that Super 11s thing was on.
Yeah.
And all the teams were in there and we were going, Jesus, like.
Galway were there and Joe and a few of the boys. You wouldn't know who you have.
Too, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
that is.
Whereas when you were playing, you fucking knew the lad you were playing.
Jeez, you did. Honestly, you did. Yeah, I know him. But you know what? Despite a few stitches and maybe the odd tooth that was lost, there was less head injuries. And they're very topical at the minute, obviously.
Yeah.
And like this kind of shoulder to the head thing, elbow to the head, never happened. Well, you get a right one, a fella that knew what he was doing, he'd slice you. But sure, you'd put a Bobby Ryan bandage on and go back out.
Yeah. Had you personally lads know that you looked forward to or hated marking then?
Oh Jesus, loads of them. I was slow enough, like, so there was the fast lads, jeez. Whereas these young fellas playing now for the tip minors, Kevin Tucker gave me a right reddening in that Munster final in 97. Yeah, how did he play him on me in the final? I'll never know in the All-Ireland final. I had no sign of Kevin Tucker, he was a sub, thank God. Tommy, I often mark Tommy Dunn, like, he was great. Johnny Dooley, sure, like, you know, the Limerick boys then, like, you know, Frankie Carroll, Kirby, if he's out in the wing for a while, you know, TJ even, who's a great pal of mine, obviously, podcast man with me, TJ was in the forwards for to put him back full back. So, like, as he's been saying, anyone to play a wing back, like. But in my early days, you know, while we were trying to be formative, I suppose, under Gaynor, we played tip quite a bit because Gaynor would be invited down the opening of a pitch in the Silver Mines or new dressing rooms above in Dala and down of a Sunday night to get a punishment beaten over in Bancha. And I was a cornerback at those days and I had to Mac Foxy a few times and I got some rednings off him. So
he's a hardy boy.
Oh, he won't give it to you as well, like. I bailed him out. I got the better of him one night in one of those games for about 4 balls. I was out in front. I was just starting to take a chance. I was beginning to get a bit of confidence going in front. And I'd say the 4th one, then I got out in front of him, and so the 5th ball, and I took, I read the play and shot out to it, and he was near me though. Oh my God, this thumb got broken. That's it. We leave it at that.
He was that close.
The thumb it just got broken.
And it was a tournament, so it wasn't going to be getting red cards in 2 months. Like, I said, Jesus. But we were great friends, to this day. Come meet him down here at the course in there every February, and he came into the pub a few times, and I've been at his place a few times. He's a gas man, like good character. It's amazing years later you get friendly with all these guys,
Yeah, so you each other.
Yeah.
It's all. I think it's always lovely to see, especially All Ireland final weekend when you see all the older players around and they're all out together. Like
the Saturday evening can be magic.
That weekend, is
it is.
That's St. Patrick's Day for GAA.
Yeah, even one of the best initiatives is this semi-final weekend now that we're looking forward to. One match Saturday, one match Sunday. Like
get it right.
Great. Like I remember Clare beating Kilkenny on the Saturday 2 years ago, and it was massive. The big talked up one was Cork and Limerick the following day. And I remember being upstairs. I had been on TV for the Saturday, so I'm off as well. So
right job.
Upstairs in the Boar's Head, and I met TJ and met Landers upstairs, and said, we're in the final anyway. How do you go? So I think that weekend is a great weekend.
Did you ever get in trouble when you were playing?
Small bit, here and there. No, I wasn't sent off. Club level more so. I wasn't sent off ever at county.
Is it mad?
I got into more trouble on the sideline later years as a mentor. It's desperate on the line. Like it is like
there's more verbals on the line than there is anywhere now.
Whoever came up with the theory of club pitches and putting the two dugouts beside each other, it's great. Why not the American football model of you're over there, we're over here? You might have a hurley carrier on this corner, right, from the opposition, but everyone on top of each other here in the line. Like it's just.
Do you ever get sent off from the line?
I got 2 months after now minor final there. Yeah, it was a bit of a schmozzle there. I got 2 months. Yeah, I shouldn't have got involved. One of them things like.
But like, it's so easy to be like, but like that heat at the moment, it could be.
Yeah, my great friend Tom Howard. We great pals. We would have won 5 championships together, and he would have managed us. Be a little bit older than me now. Our dog won the course, and myself, my brother, and him in Clonmel.
Lovely.
Great that we can give it a mention here on the show.
What's the dog's name?
Murty's Gang.
Murty's Gang.
After Murty Bounds. Murty's Gang.
Great establishment. If you want to just look down the camera and give it a shout there.
Give us a spin. Just give us a ring. Look us up on social media. But Howard is a great man. He was manager of that minor team, and there was a bit of an incident with a free taker and their manager, let's say, Niall Romer, would be the finest. So Howard went out, and your man's kind of saying there was something wrong with the schlitter before our lad took the free in, maybe. Vital free in, so Howard went out and said, "Guy, get away from him." So the next thing, Howard was wearing glasses. I saw the glasses flying up in the air, and Jesus, it was only about 7 yards away, sure. Anyway. Rush of blood, sure. Look at sure. I was in touch with Romer the following day, I suppose, and all about her. But we had to take our medicine in terms of suspensions, all right.
That is one thing that we could change is the dugouts on a different side.
It's nuts, isn't it?
That's just they're only asking for trouble.
Like they get a goal, and it's a 2-point game. You're 2 points up, and you're flying, and you're roaring on your own lads. Next thing they get a goal, they're sewing it. And you're like,
I know. See, the problem for us is we very rarely get to sew it back.
I know the feeling at the minute.
That's the problem. Yeah.
How did you know it was time for retirement?
The legs weren't great, and they were nearly gone. Yeah, I suppose. Look, I put in that unmerciful effort in 2000 for that 27 day I was telling you about. Like I was gone, needle, tin and everything. And really, because I felt Loughnane was finishing and I was going to finish him when he finished. And enough done, but we might get one more out of it in 2000, But then it was knockout. That semi-finals were knockout then, if you got to the Munster final, you had a back door, all right. Stipp beat us then, and we were beaten. So Cyril Lyons became manager then, and he played with us. Obviously, Cyril had come on as a sub in 95. So Cyril said, "We'll give it a year," So I said, "Will, yeah." Cyril couldn't give it up with Cyril, but I was a sub, and then again, Tip beat us, and there was no back door, so we were out. And then he gave me the call again, I'd say about November of that year, to go back for 02, and I certainly wasn't going back. And then I said, "God, I'll chance it." And I hated every single night in January. And then the trainer was Louis McQueen, who was a brilliant trainer, would have trained the team with Davy in 13. Would have trained the team to win an All-Ireland minor. St. Joseph Dora Bearfield, who were our big rivals around then at club level. He was their coach. They won the All-Ireland club. We didn't. We nearly did. So there was a bit of maybe me not being Louis' biggest fan from the club stuff. He was a brilliant coach. And anyway, one night I was late. I was caught inside in the sports shop with a rep who delayed me. So I was late getting to Crusheen, and I really was driving out. I didn't want to go there. I just didn't want to go there. And so they were up on the far corner stretching. They'd obviously done a bit of a run. They were stretching. So I ran a couple of widths of the field, and then I jogged around and joined the stretching. I knew the volume was a bit up with Louis, Louis is a teacher, and Louis had a speaker attached to the front of his jacket because his voice was being affected going to school from shouting and roaring. So he had bought this thing with a little yoke and a thing and a speaker. So I ran around. I went in between. I'll never forget it. David Hoy and John Redden, who captained us to win the All-Ireland Minor in 97. Two good characters now, I have to say. I managed them afterwards. What's this? I says to Redden. His voice is gone with the teaching, so that speaker thing. So the stretching was over. It was easy to do the stretching. And I just jogged back down to the dressing room, put on a pair of runners and drove out the gate.
Why?
I just couldn't take it anymore. The speaker was the final straw. I've told this to Louis afterwards. Louis the finest. No, couldn't do it. And it was only about the third week in January, and this is going to go on for another 2 months.
Oh yeah.
Before there was a hurley scene, like no. I rang Cyril then about 11 o'clock that night. I said, Cyril, I'm sorry, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Okay, no.
I've heard some good ones about retirement now, but a fella seen a speaker. That's odd.
Once so much seen it, Johnny was fucking hearing it. Because Louis was well able to shout and it was amplified by about 4. No, and I was gone anyway. Like, my legs were gone. Like, I was only there for kind of
dressing room
kind of thing. Yeah. You know, I've been around the place and talked to the young fellas that were brought on, that kind of thing.
What age were you?
I was only 32. That's all I was, yeah. But as I said, I was never blessed with too much pace, and I was getting harder and harder. And as it turned out then, I got the first cousin kind of TB called sarcoidosis.
Oh.
I was playing a bit of old soccer then. We soccer team out near the pub, and geez, after the matches, my feet used to be swelling up. That was the first thing I thought of arthritis or something. Yeah. So I went up to Merlin Park, and your man said to me, I need you to have chest x-rays. Jeez, I thought it was bollocks. But no, he said, you have a funny thing now, rare enough, called sarcoidosis, so you have to stop playing any sport. So couldn't even play for the club.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I wound up coaching the club. And
young enough.
Yeah, we got to the county final, but then it cleared. I was on 13 steroids a day for a month, 12 steroids a day for a month, 11 steroids, not for 12 months. Yeah. She went as big as a house from the steroids.
Go ahead.
And I was still able to eat and drink, like. There was no restrictions on that.
On top of it.
But no running.
He told me I had the lungs of an 80-year-old smoker. Wow. I was 32, like, and I never smoked. So, yeah, it was a worrying bit. But then I got regraded back into our intermediate team. And I was kind of going well. I was getting a bit fit in 03. So I wound up, we were in the quarter-final of the championship, and I was tagged as a sub, although I was coaching the team. And he said, will you go in? So I went in corner forward, and I won 1 ball or 2 balls, I don't know. And corner forward now, you can imagine it wasn't great. Like, but I think we got a point off one of them, and we won it. Yeah. So he started me in the semi, took me off, brought me back on again. He thought he was Mickey Hart.
Peter Canavan job.
The credit he got for that, like. He took me off because I was useless.
And when you came back on, you scored?
No, I was in the backs at this stage, back to normal, corner back, but he played me in the final, and we won the final handy.
Oh, brilliant.
And I said, geez, I'm after getting the 5th medal now, I'm out of here.
That's it.
But I played the Munster Club match against Patrick Swell, and then I became the Clare manager on the Thursday night after that. So that was the end of it then anyway.
That's fair. So you never played junior?
No, I didn't bother after that then. No. Well, it's Clare manager enough to be doing this was.
Yeah.
That's true.
Still, you would have been a fair addition at Junior B now. I'd say there'd be a lot of lads looking to settle scores too, maybe.
You got a fair few welts now.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the settle scores lads at all. It'd be the fellas who were looking at you all their lives and saying, well, Jesus, I'd love one half an hour and that fella.
Yeah.
You know, so no, that wasn't for me anyway.
Did the management replace playing then, like in terms of like still being in around that setup? And
I loved managing. I have to say, I got a ferocious buzz out of that. You know? No, they were way more painful days to take than as a player.
Yeah,
really. As a player, you just go out, drown your sorrows and stick with your buddies. And I remember we went after the Willie Clancy after losing that first Munster final to Tip. Yeah. So it was Thursday, Friday, we came home out of it. Yeah. Great crack. Yeah. Heated above there, like.
All over now,
yeah. Do you know, but the manager, like, jeez, you feel it's all down to happy, like, you know, so.
The work that goes into management must be animal for an inter-county team, obviously, whether it's Clare or Dublin or whoever it is.
Yeah, you're an inter-county player, you have to produce yourself, I suppose, and help out a bit if you can, but the manager, you're responsible for the whole shooting match. And the size of the backroom teams now as well, like, it's a monstrosity.
It's a full-time job now.
Oh, it is a full-time job, yeah. You'd want to be taking leave of absence or whatever. You'd want to be working for yourself, or a teacher maybe, you could maybe pull it off. But now with the split season, the teachers haven't the advantage because you could be out of it by the time you get the 3 months holidays.
Yeah. Jesus. Last question, Daly. What would you change about the game today?
Won't change too much, lads. Yeah. Just roaring about the hand pass and all that out. Look, I think saw one there Sunday, Brian Hayes. I thought it was a perfect hand pass. You know, but look, there was no harm clamped down because I think, you know, my buddy Derek McGrath said none of them are throws, but there is the odd throw, like we all see. I'd love to trial a few things though in next year's league. Like, I mean, the football has been brilliant, I think, and
football is transformed.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, 2 point arcs aren't going to be. I'd love to shove the 65 now back to the halfway line. It's too easy to score 65s now. Like, I think someone told me the stat the other day. In the 1973 All Ireland, I think Limerick scored a point to beat Tip in the Munster final from a 65, a 70 as it was then.
Yeah.
Richie Bennis, I think. He was the only 70 scored that year in the whole championship.
That year?
Yeah, in the championship. So, like, now they're putting them over. If you miss them now nearly.
It'd be unusual to miss them now.
It was
so
amazing.
that, like, but I'd love to have a look maybe at even so long go. Maybe inside your own half.
For free.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be gas? Like, a fella seen an opening and he taken off.
Cheers, I tell you, imagine cornerbacks, they start thinking.
Yeah. But wouldn't it be great to just trial it next year for the National League maybe?
Yeah.
Give them 3 or 4 things or whatever. I'd love to see this one may come in, I'd say, with this committee there at the moment, John Myler, under him, looking at it. I'd say, the sharp puck out the goalie to the full back, you won't be able to go back to the goalie. I'd say that might come in.
The old flea flicker.
Right. Yeah. But the problem with that is everyone be gone back to field, like, so I'd love to see maybe something where your 6 forwards have to be inside the opposition 65 when the puck out has been taken. Then they can run back if they want, like, but that they have to stay up because they're doing it now in the football with the breaches.
Yeah.
And we all thought, how is this going to be refereed? But they're managing fine. So it could be done.
If you had a bit more space under the puck outs, if the keeper was able to lob it down to the opposite half forward line.
Absolutely. Like, and then you wouldn't have the big schmozzle because the 6 forwards would be up.
Whether it's intercounty or junior B, every team is dropping their 2 corner forwards to wing forward and then their 2 wing forwards out the way. Like, at junior B level, the crowd to midfield.
This deep 11.
Yeah.
Will I stay or go? Or the centre back?
Yeah.
So you have to get your 11 to come out and meet the deep 11. And it's mad. Yeah. It's just, look, it's not that much wrong. We haven't had a great season. Like, just even like Clare in the semi-final and we've been on the, we beat Waterford 6, but that was a late goal. That was a reasonably close game.
Got lucky against Tip,
Got hammered against Limerick. Hammered the shitey. Got hammered against Cork and won by 13 at the weekend, even though it wasn't really a 13-point game. And then you got the Offaly Cork game as well. Like, so Leinster was nearly more exciting for the closeness.
Yeah.
We've been spoiled with hurling, I think, in the last few years. And now we're saying this year, like, it's not as exciting. Like the Munster Championship.
Well, like, I know we were calling it before, but we could do 2 semi-finals and a final now, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Would you look at the structure?
It's getting to the stage where you might have to look at the structure, and I'm having won an old-fashioned Munster final or 2 and 3. Actually, we were still playing the last time we won it, which is mad, like 98 since we won Munster, like, so. But we love the Munster, like, don't we all? And the Round Robin. I mean, the days out in Innisles are incredible now because any business, if I could transport it into Ennis for 2 days a year.
Oh, yes, we were at Tip Clare in Ennis last year.
Magic day. Magic, like, Limerick put on extra trains when they're coming. And
I never enjoyed a day as much as that now in a long time.
You won a 2 course,
That was powerful. Yeah, well, that made
beating Clare in a narrow game.
Especially Clare came back and leveled it, and then Shane O'Donnell come on as a sub and says, "No, you won a result here."
Yeah,
something different about your boys last year when you dug out that. Like, I think you outscored us 4-1 then down the stretch, which was a good sign of the Tip mentality.
It was nearly knockout because everyone kind of thought, right, it's going to be Limerick and Cork in the final, and then Tip Clare, there was a lot on it. To be fair, it was pretty much a knockout game. Like,
yeah, it was like this year's one, I suppose. It was much the same, and I kind of all predicted that in the preview nights that Thurles will be a huge game. Like, it's kind of acknowledged that everyone at their best, maybe Cork and Limerick are slightly ahead. Like, but on a given day, sure, anyone could catch anyone. So you never know. Like,
that's true. I think. Look, like we thought it when Dublin won 5 football, won all the football Irelands in a row. You think they're never going to be caught.
Yeah.
So teams will catch up.
Yeah. It cycles. It goes in cycles. Yeah. You'd worry a bit about the way Leinster is going because of the minor and under 20 results.
Yeah.
The 3 teams in Munster seem to be stronger. You saw the way Galway won the Leinster 20s and minors. Clare beat them well in the All-Ireland 20 final. And like Limerick kind of beat that Galway minor team in the semi-final 10 or 11 points. So that's the worry going forward. Is Munster going to just stay stronger? Whereas before, I would have always said, Kilkenny will come strong again. Wexford will come with a team. Offaly will come back. Galway lost, be strong. But at the moment, unless Galway now could cost an upset or something.
Yeah, honestly. Dale, it's a pleasure to have you on. Thanks for the tip. Legend.
Long time coming.
Hey! This is On the Bench with the 2 Johnnies with Board Gosh Energy. You've got to love the weekend. On the Bench drops on Fridays. There's loads of cracking GAA to watch Saturday and Sunday. And with our sponsors, Board Gosh Energy's Weekend Smart Plan, we get night rates all weekend long. Lovely stuff altogether.